Hello everyone, week number 3 in the studio right here, and it's me again, Verificus here, but it's all about Stanis right now. The people have spoken and the man's in the studio. Stanis, welcome again.
This is going to be a little bit awkward, but hi, Stanis here. I'm contractually obligated. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I have to scream that every time. So I'm here in Southeast Asian broadcast. Never been so excited before. I hope to see some incredible plays, some incredible summer cups, and I think Southeast Asia is going to deliver just that.
Well, you're going to be surprised to see the Southeast region here. I don't know if you paid so much attention to it or not, but I would gladly break down the teams, the participants that are currently playing here.
I've been watching it quite closely, but, correct me if I'm wrong. So Cyclone GG, as I've seen them and met them in Pro Series Brazil, are on top, and they are still on top. They lost the first cup
Yes, that
to
is
Indian
correct.
Wolves, but it was quite close. But they won the second one, and they have been quite dominant throughout the whole season, yeah?
Yeah, we've actually during the spring season it was pretty much the same scenario. So Cyclone GG predominantly a very a dominant force in general.
Predominantly dominant.
Yeah, predominantly dominant force.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Good.
But Indian Wolves, of course, are very strong contenders in that sense. They're pretty much going neck to neck always with Cyclone GG, and it always seems like you never really know who's going to come out on top.
Just how much neck to neck are we talking? How much neck to neck are they right now? Let's see the standings and find out. Oh, well, this is exciting. So,
speaking about the points, you're going to see that Indian Wolves and Cyclone GG currently are actually splitting that first and second position with 175 points.
So really neck to neck. They are touching heads, I think.
Yeah, it's literally as close as it gets. And in that third position, we do have the Unkilled roster here, sitting comfortably at 100 points. Now, what you need to know about Unkilled, you can, unofficially and also officially sort of call them the kings of that third position, because they really have had great runs in terms of the potential of getting further, but unfortunately it always somehow ends up with them taking that third spot.
That's a savage nickname, actually, the kings of the third position. Like you said, comfortably sitting, but they're 75 points behind, almost 2 times behind Cyclone GG and Indian Wolves. I cannot imagine that they are right now comfortable. And my good friend Gandrek Singh is in the Unkilled. I know he is very excited and very motivated. I'm pretty sure he's very disturbed by them being the kings of the third place. Do you see them coming up in the future?
I definitely have seen them already grown during that spring split, what we had, and they've definitely brought more firepower within this summer split right now. We've seen great games against Cyclone GG come from the Unkilled roster. Unfortunately, in the best of 3 scenario, it's still not really up to a moment where they can overtake them, but it's not really that bad in that sense in terms of how they are performing. That 4th place duo currently taken by Xavier's, previously known as team number 17, sitting at 80 points. Now, this is a roster that during the spring split wasn't really that much on our screens, but right now they're showing very great potential, and so far this is the 3rd consecutive week they're actually most likely will get into the semis as well, as far as I've looked at just before the stream started. And in that 5th position, we do have a team that actually has no logo right now, but that is the roster of Bulls with 50 points, and that's a team we have yet to see up until this moment in the standings. So Bulls is an upcoming talent, I would say, as clearly they've made it so far.
They have a very simple brand.
Yeah, it's just Bulls.
Nothing much.
It's brute force.
I think it could be like an homage to the Black Bulls in Season 1 final. But by the way, guys, I do have my Guns of Boom phone that matches my Guns of Boom T-shirt. So I will be reading the chat to Benefictus and answering you guys. So who are you cheering for? What are your thoughts on today's tournament? Who would you like to win? So all of those in the chat, or just make fun of us, which is also cool.
Yeah, I mean, last time someone commented about my big hands. Make sure you could just freely follow up on that one. Also, the fact that we're missing Danny here, if there are any Cyclone GG fans in the chat, this is a time you definitely need to show that you are there, as Danny will not be here to talk about them. So I am going to still root for my favorites so far from the Southeast region, Indian Wolves. I mean, I can't deny for anyone who is watching pretty much that like they are definitely an upcoming star team, and they are here to show that they for sure will go for that first place, no matter what, as a true Wolfpack would do. You know, they're relentless in their approach, and they always work as a team pretty much, and that's always interesting to see.
Will be, of course, interesting to see Indian Wolves on an offline event. Cyclone GG already went, you can say, 2 times, and Indian Wolves haven't been anywhere. And I think like that experience of going offline actually gives you the, like the confidence you need. And I already, by the way, guys, I have the first deep comment about today's tournament.
Let us know.
The Dragon says, "Wow."
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, the Dragon. Good analysis there. But
Thank you. That really touched me in places, It's whenever people express their opinion in such a deep fashion, it surprises me as to how much it can touch you.
But actually, like the previous cup, the finals, when they had like the 2-2 on Skyscrapers, Indian Wolves against Cyclone GG, I was really holding my breath. I was actually, while I was coming on a plane here, I was re-watching the whole stream and the finals. It was really breathtaking, and that moment, I think like I didn't even know maybe Indian Wolves even could win there. I've never seen Guns of Boom teams just, circling around.
Yeah,
so much.
exactly. Well, I had an idea about that, right? So you had one team posted inside of the actual building, pretty much covering all entrances and making sure they're sort of bunkered in. So my idea was, why didn't the opposing team just usually you would use either explosives such as grenades or even the G launchers just to get the players out of those positions, get them in the open, and find sort of entries that way. Otherwise, it's just like a fortified fortress that you're trying to get into. So, there are definitely nuances that teams like this need to start thinking about in ways how they can break their team, especially, when it is a best-of-5 situation and coming down to a score of 2 against 2.
But who do you feel like has the best chance this time around?
This time around? Well, I'm putting the eggs in the basket of Indian Wolves.
So are you doing this just because Indian Wolves are, and the joke intended, the underdog?
Yes, well, I've never really hid that I am a fan of underdogs because, at some point in time, whenever you are playing or I have played in the past as well, you have been in that position. And whenever you see that an underdog starts to really perform well, it really, burns, puts a flame underneath me in terms of just impossible to root for someone else whenever you see that early success.
So before I actually tell you who I am rooting for this time around, well, not rooting, just putting my chips on.
Yeah.
I have some opinions from the chat. So OBH Mouse says that Unkilled, mean, they have a cool name, so yeah, let's support them. So supporting Unkilled for the cool name and for their tenacity, for staying number 3. Not giving up.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Unkilled because Gunrag actually has one of the best KDA stats looking at from the previous week and also overall. So he's a guy that actually performs quite well in sense of getting those eliminations as well as staying alive. So he's sitting at a KDA of a roughly 2.6, meaning that for every engagement he goes in, right? So say he's battling like 3 people, chances are he's going to take 2.5 men down with him.
That's a good joke to a sitcom. What I think, there was an opinion in the first season of Guns of Boom Esports that actually having a strong ace is everything, and everyone is just support players. But as the second season has shown, it's actually not like that. A team that has more well-rounded players that can set up triple, quadruple eliminations more often, more consistently, they will be the victors. And often on the control points, when you have one ace and other players are just playing support, it's just not as good. Of course, Gunrag is very, very powerful player, but I think that that synergy of every player in the team needs to be brought by Unkilled to the table.
Indeed. Right. So let's have a look at the brackets and see who is actually going to play the matches out here today. So we do have the info in the studio. I think we are still waiting for one more team that is going to make it here. So the first pair we're going to see is going to be actually Cyclone GG going up against Unkilled here. So we're going to jump straight into the big guns. And then afterwards, we're going to see Xavier's going up against whoever does manage to take that 4th spot. It is confirmed that currently Indian Wolves and Prestigious are fighting for that 4th spot in the semifinals. And of course, as always, the semis are going to be played out in a best-of-3 fashion, where the third and fourth place matches, as well as the grand finals, they're going to be as per usual in a best-of-5 format. And speaking about the best-of-3, it's a good as time as any to touch slightly on the maps that we're going to see as well within these first matches. So we're going to have Military Warehouse, Atrium, and it is Europe Street this time around. So we have 2 team deathmatch modes and 1 capture point.
But if it fixes, don't you want to know, like, I hung it in the air, which team I'm rooting for this time around?
Do you have a clear favorite?
Well, I mean, like, I feel like when I've seen Cyclone GG offline, they had the hunger and they had the confidence, like, a lot of it. And they were, like, it was kind of broken in the first match because they ran into a wall there. But I think, like, because of that, because they want to be the best, not only in their region, they want to be the best in the world, I think they're going to be meaner, angrier, more power-hungry, and just, like, dominating everything. That's, like, I think, like, the chip on the shoulder is so big this time around. They'll have to put everything they have into this tournament.
I definitely need to agree with you on the fact that they have the upper hand in terms of having the experience on their side, right? Especially with that offline event experience as well, that actually teaches you a lot, first of all, in high-pressure situations, and second of all, of course, as well, having the chance of going up against the best teams in the world does mean that you will learn a lot of new things that you will pass on onto your region. So I haven't really seen it just yet, but I'm pretty sure it's inevitable that having the supposed better teams experience within a region that sort of shifts the meta as to how the actual game is played within that region, because everyone learns from the best, right? So you're going to learn as to how Cyclone GG plays the match, as well as when Cyclone GG learns from other teams that are currently, well, looking in the world's format, are above them.
They will have to beat everyone down first to pass on that experience. But some more comments. So Shaggy Lamar says, best of luck, Skilled and Blaze my favorite players. And also a fun one, it goes like from Ivan. Hey, hello, Stanis. How are you? I'm good. And also, how are you, Invictus?
I'm very good indeed. I'm
indeed.
really enjoying this summer. I finally get to enjoy a decent summer because it's just been working so much.
It is a little hot in here, though.
It is a hot, but it puts a nice glow on our face.
Yeah, you know, like the like we're younger than we are. It's
Yeah.
true. But also, like, it's hot from like all the ambition, all the firing spirit.
Tell me about Brazil, right? Was it as hot as it was here in Brazil, or was it actually a more?
It's actually winter in Brazil.
Yeah.
Because it's like the other side of the equator. My brain broke when I realized, like, when they told me, like, well, first of all, it's winter there right now, and I'm like, then they said, like, then I realized that the moon is actually the shape of it goes like this.
It's the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's like perpendicular. It's like it's crazy. Like, I don't know, man. But it's such a beautiful country and such a beautiful event. You can, guys, by the way, on this channel, you can check out some vlogs and you can check out the Pro Series. Of course, after you watch this stream, don't you dare go in.
Not right now. Not until we have at least seen one match before someone can run off for a beverage. But let us know if there are any more fans in the chat have shown up.
Fabian Chavez says, let's go to the action. And then everyone is just dropping pluses. Like,
all right. Okay,
guys,
so everyone is super eager to jump in. We are as well, but we are still waiting for the players to have their last-minute chit-chats over as to what they want to do in that first matchup. And until then, though, I must say, Stanis, once again, it's a huge pleasure to have you here, and I'm pretty excited to see how these matches are going to play on today. My microphone is really traveling on its own somewhere.
You were so touching. I actually teared up. Like, you are so eloquent. I mean, like, you have like big speeches. I cannot think more than like 4 words like in advance, so it's kind of difficult for me. But okay, please reply when the new event is going to come. So there will be, you know, guys, there's always a new event around.
Yes.
And we're going to soon go into the matches. So let's put the events for later. Right now we have bigger fish to fry.
Bigger fish to fry will give you the answers that you need for sure. I mean, there's tons of events going on. There's actually a new brawl event as well happening within the match. So anyone, if you are a huge fan of G launchers, same as me, you have a perfect event to enjoy within the app. You can actually do it now until you are waiting for the games to start, but you're actually going to miss out on the stream then. So I'm not sure.
No. If you know what I really enjoy to do, I actually play Guns of Boom while listening to a podcast or watching something. you know, like your KD sometimes go down because of that. But if you are playing a brawl, it's okay. It doesn't affect your KD. So
Indeed.
if you have a brawl, you can just really you can play Guns of Boom and watch the stream at the same time.
Exactly. It's all in good fun at the end of the day in terms of enjoying the brawl, getting those juicy connections with the launchers here, and I hope to see those as well within that first match. It always feels such as a inevitable force is approaching you whenever a rocket is launched, right? And sometimes you actually see those connections nearly missing, and it always almost... Well, I almost jump out of my seat. People don't usually see that because you have the match in front.
Please don't do that, though.
Don't jump out of the seat.
You might hit me, man. Shout out, please, Paradox. So shout out to Paradox coming in just as ordered.
Thank you, Paradox, for joining the stream, and hope you're going to have a grand time right here with ourselves. So I do believe the Blast players are joining in. If production could confirm, that would be great. What is the situation? They are currently already in the lobby, right? So it's nearly seconds before.
So what are the maps
here
again? What are the maps
so,
again? What are we going to be? What is going to be the first one?
The first map is going to be military warehouse. At least that's what's written in the plan. But it is actually going to be construction site, so we do have a bit of a
surprise
misspell here right now. So I do apologize for that. Slightly false info, but it brings more interesting things to the table.
So construction site is going to be, construction site, what are we going to see?
We're going to see a lot of group action happening as, of course, construction site. It offers so many flank opportunities for the players, and I think a lot of it is down to how these teams start off here. Now, the first match we're going to see between Cyclone GG and Unkilled. And Unkilled, even though, as I already said, they tend to sit and stay around that third position, they have played against Cyclone GG previously.
Third position? What do you mean?
Well, in the standings, just overall.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about tactics on the map, and I was and I thought, is there a numerical system for defense positions on the map that I don't know about?
It's actually a good point because, well, in other games, certain countries use the number system to give names to positions so they could call out more easily. But for a lot of different regions, it works out in various different ways. And if actually if anyone knows a particular call-outs that are, well, basically have a numeric name to them, let us know in the chat, because I would be very curious to know which region is that from and how is it really happening. The best news are on our screens right now as we are going to be jumping into that first match between Cyclone GG and Unkilled on construction site. Team deathmatch happening between these two titans as yet again they are going to meet here. Week number 3, match number 1, first semifinals, first action on our way. You can see Boxer already taking a bit of damage, needs to fall back, and Blaze makes the first strike as Rakesh is going to instantly follow up together with your favorite Gunrag, taking down Heisenberg, who's been a very well-known name in this scene so far.
It's 41-46, and Cyclone GG is ahead, but very little gunner is going to look around. Everyone is playing so safely, so slowly. It's a sniper battle that I have been expecting. Blaze is going to push forward a little bit, getting a little bit of damage, and a G-launcher goes into Gunrag Singh, but is not doing enough damage to bring him down. Still, Unkilled actually got elimination in with an Odin. Now they are 9 points ahead, but both teams are dead sad on playing this slow, playing this hard.
They want to start off things just poking out, looking to see how can they really engage this. You can see that Exorder together with Heisenberg are pretty much sticking side by side all the time. But Blaze now with this flank, unfortunately it doesn't play out for him. The health was not in his favor. In the meantime, Gunnar did manage to get Rakesh here, and it's still a bit of a poke action happening right now. They're looking for some sort of engagement opportunity. Nobody really wants to commit right now, but Rakesh with this flank right now. Good surprise, Heisenberg. Heisenberg is unaware. The perfect aim comes in from Rakesh, gets the follow-up here as well onto Exorder. Perfect aim again as Blaze is wreaking havoc in the meantime on the other side of the map.
And he doesn't want to stop because he's going to take down more. Gunnar Singh is going to take down Blaze. Gunnar with a double elimination against Rakesh and Gunnar Singh. The score is still so close, and this is still so tense. Yes, they are a couple of group fights exploding here and there, but both teams, they don't want to push too hard. They want to feel out the opponent. Exorder is going into a very tense strafing battle, but he's going to go down to Rakesh as Lionheart is going to take Blaze out too.
And it's quite interesting to see. It's a sort of a situation where players try to do more individual work right now, as Rakesh shows us one more time with a sniper taking down Heisenberg, and now together grouping up with Lionheart. They might just find Blaze yet again. Blaze Blaze steps out at the very wrong time as Rakesh does manage to finish him off, and I feel like Rakesh is very much so in the dominant position in terms of leading this match in favor of Unkilled. They're currently, Cyclone GG is currently behind roughly by 50 points, but Heisenberg together with Exorder are looking to change that. The double elimination comes out from Heisenberg with the perfect aim on top. He's currently ablaze, needs to be careful shooting through those gaps as Exorder is looking to heal up a bit here. Lionheart does manage to get him eventually there, so it is still 47 points more than the Cyclone GG roster has, but Gunner is looking to change the tides yet again.
Incredibly, a little bit unexpectedly, Unkilled are actually pulling away right here, right now. And if they manage to take this first map, it could be a start to a snowball effect. Maybe they can take it, but Blaze is going to take Rakesh down as they are trying to get the points closer. A double elimination from Blaze, 263 points to 311, and Exorder another elimination with Odin. Rakesh is going to retort, and now they are still Unkilled are holding onto a 50-point lead. There are G-launchers coming into play, not hitting anyone strong enough, and Cyclone GG are clawing. They're clawing their way back. They don't want to give this first map to Unkilled, but Unkilled will put everything on the line to take it.
Only 26 points between Cyclone GG and Unkilled right now, and one more elimination coming out from Heisenberg closes the point gap even closer right now. And oh my god, look at Blaze, how close he is. He got spotted before he managed to do anything, and Lionheart gets the follow-up. Unkilled are yet again trying to run away with these points. Heisenberg trying to change the tides right now, gets the elimination with the shotgun, gets the follow-up here as well. That's a double elimination, but Boxer with that Blade Master just takes Heisenberg out instantly, manages to fall back and trying to regroup together. Now for Cyclone GG, the inevitable is happening. They need to grow up. A push needs to happen. Gunrak does manage to take down Blaze right near. Is going to fall back, looking to see if he can poke more, but Boxer needs to be careful as Heisenberg approaches from the right-hand side. Gets an elimination. Heisenberg gets the follow-up, and this is the make it or break it point for Cyclone GG.
Cyclone GG are not going to make it easy on Unkilled as they are going to take point after point after point, and Unkilled always pull away with Gunrixing, showing why he is his team's ace. They are still 20 points ahead. Cyclone GG can turn this around with one double elimination, but there's only 15 seconds left on the clock as they are going to go in the last 10 seconds. Oh, and now Cyclone GG,
what is happening?
Going forward. Exorder and Gunner taking very, very impressive shots. Now it's Unkilled. Unkilled needs to make an elimination or they are losing. Cyclone GG wins.
Cyclone! Oh my god, how did that happen in the last few seconds? Cyclone GG with that final push, that attempt that you can see here as well. Gunrak sitting at the very front with MVP.
Definite MVP.
A definite MVP for the Unkilled roster, but unfortunately it just didn't play out as Unkilled planned. They had such a good control over the match. Those last few moments just was the make it or break it point for Cyclone GG. They did manage to group up and in a very great fashion got 3 back-to-back eliminations that actually gave the upper hand. You saw there as well in the last seconds, they just instantly fell back, hid behind walls just to make sure that they win by points in those last few moments. But I must say, Unkilled have impressed me very much in terms of how they actually approached the match, how they were in control for the better half of it, not even half, like 90% of the time Unkilled were still in front, and I'm very happy to see as well that as soon as a member was eliminated, it instantly went for that trade just to have that control over the points throughout those 5 minutes.
Here are some comments from the chat. So like, what a match, nice game, wow, amazing, GG literally, and the last minute win.
Indeed. So let's have a look at the MVPs and see who really stands out right now in this match. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see Gunrag from the Unkilled roster. It should be the case, and it is indeed, sitting at a whopping 12 eliminations, 5 assists, only 6 deaths as well, which led to 177 points.
Yes, and Blaze, on the other hand, has a lot more deaths on his hands, but he has also more assists. It's less points, and as I've said just before, Gunrik is the ace, and he managed to do so much, but again, this wasn't enough because in the last moment, his teammates went down because Cyclone GG timed that attack perfectly, so that there was no chance for a counterattack there.
Yeah, no chance really of doing anything when 3 seconds are remaining and the opposing side is just literally running away from you. So the next map that these two are going to meet is going to be Subway Station, King of the Hill scenario. Now this is a tricky one, I think, between these two, because essentially you have pretty much 3 straight up pathways, right? And with teams playing so close to each other, do you think is there any sort of a clear favorite between these two coming out from this first match?
I'm just thinking about, like, first of all, Alex says fantastic, but also I just wanted to say that, like, what have we learned really from this map? And I think, like, what have we learned? I think we'll learn that, like, Unkilled actually can dominate in a shootout very well,
yes.
But it feels like mentally and maybe like as a group they are less organized. Then Cyclone GG. Cyclone GG didn't tilt, and they managed to pull themselves together, and we'll see if they're going to do this on this next map.
Well, another interesting point is this could have potentially also been a strat that they had in their pocket.
Oh, yeah.
All
We're
right,
going to see it right here.
We're going to talk about that a bit later. Right now, the second map between Cyclone GG and Unkilled. Subway Station, King of the Hill. Can Unkilled steal this one off Cyclone GG's shoulder, or Cyclone GG will leave them disappointed in a second map in a row here? You can see the first point already. The A capture point is going to be taken, but that's Rakesh coming out with the Blade Masher to get the first strike, and Gunnar instantly trading back here. Boxer also helping out. The push is happening from the Unkilled roster, but that grenade just completely ruins the plans of Heisenberg. You can see he does manage to get Lionheart in the end there. Cyclone currently leading with 40 points, but Unkilled are definitely on the back foot of Cyclone GG.
Unkilled actually managed to take back the point, which I didn't even expect them to do as they lost the shootout. But now Cyclone GG are going to try and take it back. And they are taking it back with a G-Launcher elimination from Boxer and an all-around assault here. They, on Cyclone GG, are already 130 points ahead. Gunnar Singh is going to try and even it out with a G-Launcher elimination and an Odin elimination. But it's still, they are far behind. Lionheart is now taking point A. And this is so chaotic. Heisenberg is going to chase Rakesh around the point, and he's going to get him from the back. Now Gunnar Singh going up against Heisenberg. It's a triple elimination for Heisenberg.
Juicy stuff coming out from Heisenberg right now as he's looking to even get more. He gets the grenade down onto the ground, instantly goes for that flank, will jump down onto these opponents, but they're already taken care of by Gunnar and Blaze. Back to the capture point right now as Lionheart tried to overtake it, didn't manage to do so, and Gundrag, a desperate attempt coming out, giving the Heisenberg the elimination streak, and Rakesh finds one, needs to find definitely more, waiting for the teammates to come in as Rush is a bit too fast there. Blaze did manage to take him down. Exhorter also gets the follow-up and is currently running completely out of control of Unkilled as Cyclone GG are in the lead with 400 points.
Oh my god, 400 points. Cyclone GG are definitely looking at taking it 2-0 right here, right now, because they have solidified their incredible lead. But now Unkilled are going to try and take the point, but Exhorter doesn't let that happen as he's going to throw an EG launcher. He's not going to give Unkilled a chance. It's 800 points to 400 points. Cyclone GG are leading 2 times, and they only have 150 points left, and they are going to keep control of the point. Unkilled are throwing themselves at it again and again, but right now seems like there is no chance as Blaze is coming out with a triple elimination, and there's only 60 points left, and they are going to control the point. Everyone is there. There is almost no chance. I don't know what kind of miracle Unkilled needs to perform here, but it is not going to be able to, as Cyclone GG wins with a 600-point lead.
Cyclone GG are the victors of this first semi-final, so it was a dominant performance for them. You can see all of the roster is on our screens, those shades, those black vests, showing really who is the dominant one in this duel. So I must say it was a completely different story on the subway station, and especially happy to see how Cyclone GG came out with a complete surprise. I think for the Unkilled roster, they weren't expecting for Cyclone GG to be so grouped up, so aggressive very early on. They never really let go of the capture point, not really allowing for those Unkilled players to jump onto it as well. As soon as someone was approaching, there was already man right next to him just ready to take him down, and that's exactly what gave them the 400-plus point lead.
I think they didn't only not let go of the point, they didn't let go of the previous map, of the advantage they got there, because the mental advantage, the tilt there, I feel like it just went straight down because Unkilled were on top, and Cyclone GG were actually like, they were meeting it every time, and then when they went ahead, they kept it.
Yeah, what do you even do when the opponent never let go of the fire button, pretty much? Okay, well, let's see how it played out in the MVPs and see who did best from which roster. It's hard to say, actually, who's going to come out on top from the Unkilled roster, but again, it is our very own Gunrag right at the top, sitting comfortably at 139 points, 7 eliminations, 5 assists, and 7 deaths. But look at Heisenberg from Cyclone GG. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen Heisenberg on the MVP screen, but whenever he shows up, it feels impressive. 268 points, 9 eliminations, 8 assists, and only 5 deaths. So from Cyclone GG, Heisenberg really showed that Subway Station is his turf. Nobody can touch his territory, not even the whole of the roster of Unkilled pretty much were handled by Heisenberg. So super interesting stuff, of course, as always, to see coming out from these two rosters. And I do have an update onto the brackets as well, so I think we can straight jump to that and just see what's coming next. So on the brackets, we have the first match closed out between Cyclone GG and Unkilled here, moving Cyclone GG straight into the grand finals, and Unkilled are going to be battling for that 3rd and 4th place.
I actually already see chat crying out for Indian Wolves as they want to see the next match and they want to see their favorites. Unkilled didn't manage to pose enough threat to Cyclone GG, even though they started so strong. But now, after the semifinals, maybe Indian Wolves being the strongest contender that Cyclone GG always meets, maybe they managed to overcome Xavier and meet Cyclone GG in the finals, or Xavier actually is going to subvert our expectations and take Indian Wolves and maybe even take Cyclone GG after that.
All right, well, I think on that first map, getting into that next match of Indian Wolves going up against Xavier's on construction site, as already Unkilled and Cyclone GG showed us, it is still potentially any man's match, but a lot of it, of course, is going to come down to that second map as well. So don't go too far. The players are already joining the server, to my knowledge, so it should be pretty much in general set in stone that we are going to start briefly here, but let us know in the chat who between these two, Indian Wolves or Xaviers, should move forward and who should be meeting Cyclone GG in the finals. I do think, just in general terms, speaking from the standings point of view, you know, you do have Indian Wolves with Cyclone GG dealing that first, second place in terms of points as well. They have the same amount, so it'll be super interesting to see if Indian Wolves could move on and, of course, give us a spectacular grand final. But I feel like you have a few messages to pass on from the chat.
I was waiting for so long.
I'm sorry.
Man. No, you're good with the monologues. It's cool. So Cyclone will kneel down as they will face Indian Wolves.
My man!
Goes from Shaggy Lamar.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Shaggy Lamar, because I think that this could be the day when finally the throne could be overthrown. And again, indeed, thank you, production, for correcting me on that one, because, I mean, sometimes you just completely forget that these teams actually have overcome Cyclone GG. But as I already said, we still need to get to that. Xavier's now are preparing for Indian Wolves.
Overthrown throne. I like that one. I think like saying it back 3 times could be quite
overthrown throne.
Overthrown throne, overthrown throne. But it's good. I think like Indian Wolf fans are... Oh, yeah, they are savage, and maybe they are even rabid.
I can't believe you threw that one out. But
okay, so
right.
I'm thinking, you know what? I'm actually going to go for the underdog here, but not the Indian Wolves. They are just the Wolves here.
Yeah.
But the underdog, of course, right now, is going to be Xavier's. But Xavier's, I think they have what it takes. And if they have been watching Pro Series Brazil close enough, they have the skills they need to take down Indian Wolves.
Well, definitely one player has. Another interesting statistic that I can give you, they do have a player called Rocky. And Rocky currently has the highest headshot percentage out of all players. So he's sitting roughly around 46, 47%, meaning that every second shot he takes goes straight to here.
Did you ever see Rocky doing like a training montage in Guns of Boom?
Training montage? No.
No.
Have you seen one?
Weird. I think, yeah, like I can almost hum the song, but I think we shouldn't do that. Cyclone GG will win. Indian Wolves are savage. And like, you know, like guys are like two camps. Two camps in the chat.
All right. So
Indian Wolves, Cyclone GG, and seems like Xavier's are kind of lonely because I don't see anyone going for them.
Well, if anyone is supporters of Xavier's in the chat, it is now or never. The team needs you. They're joining soon. They're joining the server already, so they are eager to jump against Indian Wolves and to see if they can disrupt the pack, take down the main wolf, as they usually say, and then usually the system falls apart. All right.
That was good.
Top dog. I should have said top dog.
Oh, yeah, but we're going into construction site for a team deathmatch match, as we've seen before. But now these two teams, maybe they are not going to go into a very slow sniper battle and go for rushing, but we'll see right now.
Well, White Devil is already taking the first shot to himself, but it's actually going to be King who's going to go down there, and Ghost opens things up with that first strike. Skilled gets even to follow up onto Sammy right now. White Devil is injured. He's hiding behind a corner here, waiting for the backup of a King. In the meantime, I previously mentioned Rocky as well, peeking over those ledges, looking to see if he could pop one of those heads, but it's actually Gravity Ready who takes down White Devil here, and so far Xavier's have nothing to respond with.
But it seems like it's going to be another slow sniper battle. I don't mind. I love sniper battles, but Bravery. So even 1 point, Xavier. Oh, they took it. 17 points at the same time. 17, very fitting for Xavier's to take, as they have been 17 before. Now Xavier's are going to take back. King is going to grenade. White Devil is going to knife, and they're going to take back points, as they are now only 30 points behind. The sniper battle continues. No one is going to push too deep. They are not. They are not inexperienced. They know what to do. King is going to do another headshot, but a small battle. Oh, Skilled going with a double elimination on Barracuda, going to widen the gap point to 60.
60 points between these two. Still 3 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock. And Skilled, I think he just saw White Devil. It's actually Hope who managed to get him from a different angle. Rocky is going to go down here as well. And you can see that the sniper rifle tactic is really working out for the Indian Wolves roster. There's really no need to push any further. King does have a different idea in his mind, as he does manage to get a Blade Master in the process there. Even gets another one, as now Skilled pushing forward does manage to eventually take down that nuisance of a man for the Indian Wolves roster. Skilled moving forward with that shotgun as well. Even gets the G-Launcher out and does connect onto Rocky. Rocky with that already placed shot did manage to trade it out with him, but still for Xavier's, it's a bit of a long time to go before they manage to catch up to this roster. And the triple elimination coming out from Ravi Reddy here as well, looking to put the final nails in the coffins of Xavier's.
It's ironic how Hope did so much damage this game, as Hope is exactly the thing that is now it is now leaving Xavier's, it seems, because they are 130 points behind, but Indian Wolves are going to even start a flank. So Xavier's are not going to play risky. They are going to send in a G-Launcher, unfortunately a complete miss, but Rocky is going to take down Ghost. Skilled and Revi, of course, take back the points immediately. They are holding on to their lead. They are holding on to their leads like hungry wolves hold on to their prey. Hope is going to try to enter the battle again, and we're going again into a slow sniper trade-off. We're going to see who is going to win that, but of course, again, Indian Wolves are going to take more points here, as Ravi taking down King, and they are almost 150 points ahead.
And this is the last moment for Xavier's right now to really make a break for it. 434 points already in the pockets of Indian Wolves. That grenade from Hope won't find any damage, but he's so close to these low health players. Hope is on elimination streak. Will take down King, as Skilled takes down White Devil, and this is pretty much done and dusted. The G-Launcher from Ravi ready, even the dance, as Sammy does take down Hope. But Hope has left the roster of Xavier's as they're getting their final eliminations here, but it's pretty much set in stone at this stage. Only 3 points more needed for the Indian Wolves roster, and a full minute and 20 seconds still available to get those last eliminations in. Ravi just doesn't even care. Ravi's just like,
Ravi is answering the dance.
Yeah, I'm just going to dance until the very end. Someone Skilled is making it rain. They just pretty much have left only one man to do the job that is required from them to lock this one out and head into the next match. So Indian Wolves are going to be your winners of that first match, that first map, excuse me, as we are still going to be heading into the subway station. King has managed to snuck in with a dark mask between these white players to really show that he is still up for grabs if anyone wants to.
But you know what? I feel like with that taunt battle at the end there, what Xavier's we're trying to say is that no matter that they lost the first map, they are not broken. They're they are going to try even harder the next time because they will throw back everything that actually Indian Wolves have.
Well, it can be a completely different scenario, right? Heading into Subway Station, it's not really that much of a sniper game when you really come down to that. It is a King of the Hill scenario, meaning there is a capture point that they need to grab. So let's have a look at the MVPs between these two, see how it played out between them in construction site. See who actually shined. And from Xavier's, it's actually King with 138 points, 8 eliminations, 7 assists, but 10 deaths is a quite high death toll, if I might say.
That's a lot of points for the other team, so Xavier's King actually maybe needs to pull a little bit together, play a little bit more conservatively. It felt like Xavier's opened up a lot more, and they took less points from that than the other team.
Indeed. Well, Ravi had all the reasons in the world to dance here as he is on the MVP screens. 157 points, 10 eliminations, 6 assists, and 6 deaths in his pocket. So even with the dancing, you can't take him out. He's just making sure he's sticking by.
So I have some really nice messages from the chat. So
all right.
So Khatri says, "Yo, smashed by Wolf finally." Also, well played Indian Wolves. And somebody says too defensive. And I think they're talking about Indian Wolves that they were playing too defensive. But come on, they won.
It's the map as well a bit. You know, construction site, there's a lot of angles that you can sort of abuse. There's a lot of long-range engagements. You can't really blame these guys of not really willing to risk all out and just go to straight engagements in that sort of situation. But there's a joke.
Shaggy is taunting in the chat. He's saying, "Skip this match, go direct final with Cyclone and Wolves." Yes, I mean, for Xavier's, it doesn't look good right now. But you cannot just say they're not going to win because I've seen turnarounds that were a lot worse than this.
And there's been, well, esports in general is just filled with comeback stories, so you never really know how things are going to play out in the bigger picture. Xavier's could actually overtake Indian Wolves and go against Cyclone GG, and if they manage to take them down, I need to think of something special I'm going to do for the next stream if that actually happens, because whilst it might seem unlikely, you can't really discount that option.
Still your beard the best, Stannis. Thank you, Jazz Bricks. It's just I don't have much competition here today in the beard department.
I shade straight.
I win by default in the beard contest here, but
in this situation for sure. Well, you haven't seen my legs though. I'm sorry, completely unrelated, but I had to respond with something.
Sorry,
right, so the players,
the
players are readying up right now to jump into that subway station battle. So, of course, you can't really judge much from how Xaviers are going to play this one in subway station, but I think they're going to try to approach it with a different pace.
Who will, I think, like, how Xavier is going to win when hope, when all hope is on the side of
when
Wolves.
All of that hope that everyone needs is within one roster. You don't know. Right, so in the chat, though, if you don't have plenty of things to talk about, let me know. If you like Status being here, or maybe we can get him here.
So what, like chat says, like they're
going to be like, no, we want Danny back.
You're going to kick me out? Yeah, like just right now. You're going to be casting by yourself then.
Right,
like,
oh my God, solo cast.
What are you asking that for? I mean, like, come on.
I'm not asking for it. I'm just asking for opinions, you know?
People say, let's see some close combat. Do you mean in the game or us?
No, the close combat that's going to be on our screens right now as we are jumping into Subway Station, King of the Hill, second map between the two Titans of Xaviers and Indian Wolves. You can see that northern line side there. Pieces of paper, but nonetheless, Ghost already making that first action, getting those Blade Masters all around the board.
That's the close combat.
Too, and that really feels personal.
Yeah, like the chat was asking for close combat. This is as close as it gets. And another Blade Master, and another Blade Master. And they just keep going. White Devil is going to try to take the point. Nobody has the point yet in the G launcher for White Devil against himself. That was unlucky.
But that bad luck has brought to the fact that Indian Wolves are 100 points already in the lead, meaning that Xaviers are in a position where they need to group up and push together, and it's not simply happening for them. A skill is tearing them apart, manages to get White Devil and King out of the picture, rocking those down as well, and I feel like Ravi Reddy is already to jump on that dance button right now.
Oh my God, Sammy with a double elimination here as he's going to try and take it for Xavier. An elimination streak for Ravi with a launcher. with an Avalanche. I'm sorry, and going to be like 460 points to 150 to Xavier. This is crushing. This is starting out so hard. Half of all the points they need to win. Indian Wolves already have. The point is completely open, though, and Xavier are not gonna let that go. A double elimination from Rocky. Maybe this is the time they turn it around, but they are all so low on health, and Hope doesn't let them get away with it as he's going to take an elimination streak and take down White Devil. But the last health, the last breath of Xavier is going on the point, but they still cannot turn this around.
King, desperate attempts being made right now as he's looking to take down Skill, but he's actually going to be the turntable onto him. White Devil finally puts up decent points in his pocket, but the G-Launcher from Hope tells us a different story. Even the double elimination somehow manages to get Rocky there. Sammy did manage to get him eventually as Hope was on extremely low health, but that G-Launcher again from the Indian Wolves roster completely decimates Xavier's on that capture point. Rocky trying to stay alive can't really happen as too many Wolves are around him, essentially pushing into a corner as Skill just
Double elimination
and casually.
All of that in almost 2 minutes. It's so much. Another double elimination coming hot right in. This is close combat. This is fast combat and a grenade from Hope. They're not going to give any chances to Xavier as they are going to be taking this game so strongly and so one-sidedly. Indian Wolves are showing who is the leader of
Indian
the pack.
Wolves are going to be your dominant force in this matchup, meaning that you can see Hope as well on our screens, sitting proud at the very front, showing that Hope indeed, as you already mentioned, is on their side, meaning that they don't even need to rely on him. He just does the man's job. And takes it upon himself to close this match out. And I must say, I really thought that it is going to be a different pace here for Xavier's, but I think that was instantly broken apart with those early Blade Masters, and that was the morale pretty much out of the window. And yeah, Hope spoke to his team, and as you know, Hope has spoken. Indian Wolves have moved on. And, well, we've got the scenario that we've been looking for in the grand finals. Cyclone GG are going to go up against Indian Wolves, and that's exactly what you wanted in the chat. But before that, we still have that third and fourth place battle.
Yeah, it was kind of expected by the chat, too, and people are saying, like, 2 dominating matches so far. Yo, Indian Wolves. Indian Wolves dominated everything. Now, so, also, Stannis looks like a young Abraham Lincoln. Funny, but let's see the MVP instead.
Yeah, let's have a look at the MVPs. Let's not think about Abraham. Right, so on our MVP screens from the Indian Wolves, Hope already previously mentioned 251 points from the man, 9 eliminations, 5 assists, and only 4 deaths in this close-up battle between Xavier's, where from the side of Xavier's, though, King, yet again on our screens with 124 points, only 5 eliminations, 4 assists, and 9 deaths.
4 score and in the deaths there, but I'm going to say, like, here we see just like how much hope actually was taken from Xavier during that match. It's like, it's incredible. It's an incredible name.
Stolen off of them.
People are naming themselves something like dominating and killing and eliminating, but when you call yourself Hope, and then you just crush everyone.
All right. Well, let's remind for all of those who have joined only recently to this stream what really went down so far today, what are we looking forward to, and how this all is going to play out. So the first match we saw was between Cyclone GG going up against Unkilled, where Cyclone GG in a 2-0 fashion did manage to secure their position in the grand finals yet again, I must say. And whilst it looked, well, it was hopeful for the Unkilled roster for a brief moment. Cyclone GG did manage to turn the tables there, meaning that Unkilled are going to go down to that third, fourth place battle yet again. And very quickly, we had the second pair of Indian Wolves and Xavier's just now on our screens, where Indian Wolves really showed that they are the better team right now over Xavier's, meaning that they are going to be battling it out with Cyclone.
And a fan for Indian Wolves, Ridiculous Gamer, says, same will be the fate of Cyclone GG.
That sounds like a fortune already, like fortune telling. You know?
He's a very old-fashioned map.
Right. Well, for the best of fives, we actually have a different map lineup, and the first one is going to be Military Warehouse. We've seen it before. We know how these teams perform there, but it's a new week. It's a different story always. So curious to see. And do you as well, now that match between Xavier's and Unkilled, looking how they played so far, do you think you have any predictions as to how it might potentially play out between them?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I feel like Gunrag probably going to take it. I mean, like with the plays we've seen, it doesn't really feel like Xavier has it together as a team, and they don't have as strong as an ace as Gunrag right now. So I don't know.
What's weird is that actually one of the better players on their team that was showing us an MVP constantly was actually White Devil. We see him definitely underperforming today, especially with that accident he had with the G launcher there.
That was bad.
That was just like the final nail in the coffin
That
for
G
him.
launcher definitely danced under their pale light with
Oh.
the devil. So like it didn't go to plan.
Because okay, I'm not gonna go there because I don't know how it might play out. But I did have a comment that I'll remind me after the stream. I'll let you know.
When is
what I
the
was thinking.
finals to all this? The finals will be just right after the match for the third and the fourth place, so don't go anywhere, though you might go drink some water to keep hydrated. We're worried about your health, man.
Yeah, exactly. Drinks plenty of water, especially in the warm weather right now. It's super important. Yeah, exactly. Do that. Do that. It helps you, and your body is very thankful. Right. So, best of 5, Xavier's unkilled. First map is going to be Military Warehouse, another team deathmatch mode. Now, Military Warehouse is not necessarily as wide as a construction site would be, so there are going to be closer engagements happening between these two, and it also has that element of elevated surfaces during that middle part of the map. So.
There is less sniping opportunity,
Yeah.
but for the elite snipers, you can really get it. Let's see which tactic is going to be chosen on the Military Warehouse as we're going into the first match for the third and fourth place.
Third and fourth place, valuable points on the line, and of course, those change the standings in the future. But right now, King is going to be already taking his first shots towards him, and as well as he is doing it, Gunrag manages to get that first strike onto Semi there very quickly. Boxer is going to follow up onto Rocky. Rakesh makes a desperate attempt of going straight into the blade of King, but Boxer together with Lionheart instantly trading back again, pushing Xavier's already on the back foot with their points. Sammy trying to turn these tables. Rocky joins in on the action and with that perfect aim takes down the MVP of Unkilled, that is Gunrag, as Rakesh trying to change the tides of the battle right now, but Xavier's are starting to crawl back in terms of those points.
It seems like a very slow battle again, and Gunrag doesn't disappoint, but Xavier keeps up, so we see some Thanatos and some Barracuda shots being exchanged, with Thanatos, of course, being more powerful, and I would really be interested to see what with the Cheetah Pens. Gunrag is wasting his G-Launcher as he's going to become the fourth piece for the Elimination Streak collection that Rocky was getting together. But Rakesh is going for a double elimination there against Rocky, and King and Unkilled are firmly almost 50 points ahead.
50 points ahead and 30 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock here for Xavier's to come up with a game plan right now. I still think this is going to be the better action right now as they push together as a 3-man army, but Gunrag together with Lionheart tore them apart yet again. King trying to change the tides of the battle here, getting a double elimination for himself. In the meantime, Rakesh on an elimination streak here, might even get the follow-up, but the combo breaker from King, and yet again I feel like King is just going for that MVP title.
The gap is slowly expanding, but it's not going too well as Sammy is going to get a double elimination. And Gunrag Singh is going to answer in kind. It's just going to be a 100-point difference almost out of nowhere as Unkilled are going to push on. They're going to keep and widen their lead and their gap. Lionheart and Rocky in a duel, and the Lionheart is actually going to take with a G-Launcher Rocky to the other side as Boxer is going to take down King, and we see that the point gap is all but widening.
White Devil here doesn't have any armor right now, is in a good flanking position, but Boxer now is going to be literally jumping over that ledge. That might have been a mistake. It actually was a distraction, so Lionheart could come in, and White Devil with the elimination streak coming out with those valuable points that Xavier's need. The point lead is narrowed down to only 50 points right now, so it's still doable for Xavier's, and White Devil staying alive even gets another follow-up onto Gunrag. That's a very important player to take down from the Unkilled roster. Still 2 minutes on the clock here, 50 points on the line between these two. White Devil needs to stay alive here, but doesn't have the health or the armor to do that as Rakesh takes him down, gets a double elimination here, and will fall back with those flames over his shoulders.
Okay, Unkilled are still ahead so much. They only need 29 points to seal the deal on the first map, as they are going to play very defensively, very safely, as they have nowhere. They don't need to rush. They have no place to be. They're right here, and they are going to take their points slowly, unless Xavier pulls out some sort of miracle out of their arsenal. Lionheart already celebrating the victory.
Rakesh joins in on the dance as well, as they're looking to push into the spawn of saviors here. Now it's starting to get dicey though. 474 points for them. And Lionheart, you better run, man, because either he finds someone on low health here, or if he goes down, that is the opportunity that saviors are looking for here. And it's a interesting situation right now, as the trade comes in, and Unkilled actually going to come out here victorious. So it's funny that Unkilled allowed it to run down so quickly. And, whoa, I need those shades.
Oh, that's great. Like, Venom also likes them very much.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say, like, they almost danced too soon. I'm just waiting for that one moment when one team just starts dancing because they thought they won and they just completely annihilated by a G launcher or something.
I just wanted to throw that in as well. This was already a preview as to how you throw games, like how you throw advantages. Because whilst dancing and throwing around the cash is all in good fun, it can still definitely turn in completely different tides. So Unkilled managed to secure that first map. A good job coming out from them. Saviors towards the end did manage to show that they are able to group up here, and we do have the MVPs on our screen, but let us know what's happening in the chat.
Cryptic says, the dance was jinxed. That's really correct. Oh, we see the MVPs are very close this time around. And you see, not many numbers are different here. As the number of deaths, the number of eliminations are completely the same, and the score is very close.
Yeah, it was pretty much up to the assists here. And even though White Devil has more assists over Rakesh, he's just steals the point essentially off of the hands of Saviors in this situation and gifts the victory to Unkilled in that first map.
This is not such a big score for TDM, I'd say, so it really shows that it was a group effort, and the sniper double eliminations and all the exchanges, it was a group versus group fight.
Exactly, and that's also what you want to see in this best-of-5 scenario, because in such a long, lengthy battle of maps, it's obviously going to be about which team can still get that composure and have it until the very end of the best-of-5. So the next map is going to be Paradise Island, a map we've seen during the spring split a lot, and now it is going to be again on our screens. And within this map, between these two, I can already tell you, looking back from the spring split as well as the beginning of our summer, just Paradise Island is a complete curveball, I think, for everyone, and everyone has an opportunity to come back into the match.
Yes, I'd say, like, it's really interesting to see the psychological and the mental battle together with the actual shooting contest, because I feel like with these dances, it goes into, like, who is going to crack first, who is going to take themselves too seriously. And actually, like, the chat agrees with me as they say, like, dancing is awesome, though.
It is awesome, and I think it actually challenges, as you already mentioned, the mentality of the opposing team to see if they can gather still themselves and to sort of ignore the fact that they're being taunted, in the open, essentially. And with the dance moves?
Yeah, I think, like, the dance moves. I mean, like, I'm going to challenge you to, like, repeat some of them, but I think, like, we're going into the battle right now.
All right. Well, we are jumping into Paradise Island between these two titans yet again. Saviors and Unkilled are battling it out for that third, fourth position. Currently, Unkilled are in the lead with one map up. But it can all change right now, and already action on our screens is Rakesh with a triple elimination and 122 points in favor of Unkilled over Saviors, which have currently only 40. The capture point is in favor of Unkilled, and now they're trying to eliminate these flanks, but White Devil with the G launcher together with Rocky are looking to change the tides of the pace.
Unkilled, they seem like they're kind of angry right now. I mean, like, What is this, like 1,200 points in
They're
the
like,
first 30
am I a
seconds?
joke to you?
Yes, and the G launcher even. I mean, like, they are pulling out all stops. They're starting strong, and they have the point. They're keeping it. Oh, a G launcher against Rakesh. That was some revenge there. But the point still belongs to Unkilled. Xaviers need to find something. They need to find a technique. They were kind of undecisive there for taking it. What?
That was the double G launchers coming onto the capture point, denying Saviors of any opportunity of surviving there. As you can see, the cleanup crew there as well, with Lionheart in front, making sure that the capture point is staying uncontested.
I think they didn't actually even have the time to hit. I think there was only avalanche eliminations. I didn't even see that because of that. Gunrek is like a hawk. He's like a hawk watching over the battlefield, not letting any of the Xavier players go, and he's going to win a duel while being actually sandwiched by two players. He's going to go down eventually, but he put hell of a fight up.
Hell of a fight up indeed, and still a hell of a fight in front of us, especially for Xaviers right now as they're looking to respawn and group up yet again. White Devil on the flank here, but Lionheart suspects something is up. He doesn't check the corner here, and White Devil comes out as a complete surprise in front of them, does manage to get Merciless here, and even the double elimination, and an excellent opportunity already on his way back to the capture point. Spots more players, gets his third one as well, as only Gunrak is able to stop him and gets the Blade Master on top onto King.
Unfortunately, no one was there to support him, and his deed didn't help Xavier, as nobody took the point, and Gunrak, with an amazing double elimination, saved it. Unkilled still have the point. They have 400 points more, and they are winning every trade-off. They are winning every group fight, and it just seems like they are choking down Xavier. They're not letting them breathe. They're not letting them take any chances. Sometimes White Devil manages to do something like a double elimination from Sammy is also good here, but it seems like it's not going to be enough. They need that one-sided domination, maybe that's starting right now, as they are going with three people on the point. Going too deep, I feel, with Rocky, but he is actually going to go down to Gunrek Singh. White Devil is taking down Rakesh. They are 400 points behind, but maybe they can pull out a miracle here.
It's a dangerous move coming out from Xaviers here in a desperate attempt at that, and unfortunately the health wasn't simply on their side, as Boxer did manage to eliminate two in that situation. Rocky trying to change that tide, and in the meantime Sammy will go down, surprised by Gunrak being so close. The point is still in control of Xaviers, but that is about to be changed, as well as the Unkilled roster is approaching that victory point mark very quickly. King in the last second there did manage to change the capture point back into favor of Xaviers, but Unkilled are just too close to those victory points.
Only two eliminations left for them. Lionheart again tempting fate by doing a dance move before winning. They are so sure of their victory. They only need a couple of eliminations, but Sammy's going to clean up both of them for their hubris, but Unkilled are still with only one elimination going to win this map.
Yeah, super convincing stuff coming out from the Unkilled roster in Paradise Island. You can see Rakesh on front of your screens. Gunrak has managed to sneak in there as well. Really stands out between these players with that orange really popping off. But as well, that's an interesting point of discussion in terms of, do you think having like bright colors as a cosmetics does really mess up about in certain maps because it makes you more visible?
I feel like when you are an ace like Gunrak and you have such a distinct look when you are signaling to people that you are there and you're going to be the strongest. You're going to be the MVP. And was he the MVP?
Let's have a look. Right, so MVP screen. Is it Gunrak? It is Rakesh from the Unkilled roster with 209 points. Impressive stuff, especially talking about that assist points, right? So 10 assists coming out from, but a lot of deaths as well. So Rakesh was all about that action during this match.
This actually looks like, like the score that is given to a skier.
Yeah.
Or a jumper, because 8, 10, 10.
How did they manage to do it? 8, 10, 10. Excellent job.
Well,
I mean, essentially that is exactly what happened together with Rakesh there. But on the opposing side, White Devil finally shows up on the MVP screen. And I think that's really something that Xavier's needed for White Devil to start waking up, getting those eliminations here. You can see 11 currently with 5 assists and 8 deaths, 184 points. So an excellent job coming out from White Devil. And it seems that he does better when he goes for those close-up approaches, right? So he doesn't really have issues of going into straight face-to-face battles, but it seems to fall back when it's more like longer distance engagements.
I actually enjoyed the MVP being a support MVP for once.
Yeah. Exactly. So, well, we do have Old Factory, that third decisive map. So this is make it or break it point for Xavier's. Can they start their comeback journey right now, or is it going to be Unkilled running away with the victory? Let's find out as we're jumping into Old Factory Team Deathmatch. Let's see if anyone has those elite snipers you've been talking about.
Historically, and historically and just from today, this should be a bloodbath for Unkilled winning. But they are all leaving because it seems like we have some technical problems. We'll restart the match shortly. But for now, let's just look into the chat, because I think you guys have something really cool to say.
Let us know what does the chat say, and still make sure you find the proper words to support your team to really set them ablaze in this what could potentially be the last map in this best of five.
This might sound simple and very straightforward.
All right.
I enjoy it. Foxy Rock says, I love Gob. That's just
I love it too.
So Unkilled enjoying it, lol. Boring games, totally fun battles. I mean, like, people are being sarcastic about the about the fact that Unkilled are dominating. It seems like, the gap between the third place and the fourth place is quite big here. As we see, Unkilled are dominating almost every time.
And that's one of the reasons why, as well, they're sort of hard stuck in that third position, because the gap between Unkilled as well as Indian Wolves and Cyclone GG, whilst it's not as big as it is currently between Xavier's, there is still a noticeable skill gap that's sort of preventing them from making that bigger step forward into the future. So I think that's something that they really need to pay attention to and to start looking into those finer details.
I just love to see exactly how they lost here again, because I feel like there might be some tactical things we can pick up from replays.
Well, replays in the studio, please, and let's have a look at one more time how it all went down here. You can see Boxer started things off with a Blade Master in hand.
Let's try to figure out something we didn't see before.
Right.
I mean, I'm thinking okay, Gunrik is keeping behind. We see some G-launchers are used, but they are usually going for just one elimination when they are best. Like, there was a really bad situation, actually, that I've seen for Xavier, where they were all full health and they went out. They could have been taken, but it seems like everyone is just going for straight forward gameplay. They're not setting up big traps, just splashing in the middle.
Yeah, not that much tactical plays right now happening. It's more of a brute force situation from either side, and they're trying to force their way into the victory, but at times, as you already pointed out, it's a matter of about setting up a play, about execution, how you execute it. We haven't really seen control points today, where you have 3 capture points that you really need to have in control. So that's usually a completely different story, and that's also one of the places where you would see the bigger skill gaps between these two teams, because a lot of coordination is required for you to have control over all of them. Here, hope so. Good man, put up decent effort, but White Devil already waking up here.
I would say, though, that Indian Wolves, they feel on a different level of organization, on a different level of team play, as they are always, like, when somebody is going ahead, they're always supporting you. Like, we've seen White Devil being quite an incredible ace, but just the players from his team are not behind him, they're not following him, they're not throwing themselves at the point hoping that he's going to take down everyone. Even when he does, there's just no one to catch.
I mean, if you're going to play a game style like that, where White Devil is considered your ace, then you need to take action on these maps which have points to be captured, in the sense that White Devil at least is going to act as a big enough distraction for them to throw themselves onto the capture points, and then see how they can play it out from there. Otherwise, of course, yes, they should talk things over in terms of how they want to approach these matches further.
Good analytics from the chat. Ricky Mohan says Xaviers need to win more one-on-one battles. And it seems like, it is the skill gap. Like, they're not doing any, fancy tricks to offset that. They just going head-to-head, and they just lose all of those duels.
Yeah, it's strange sometimes as well, right? You would think that going into a head-to-head battle, it would be like a 50-50, well, at least more a 50-50 situation, but it doesn't seem to be the case, especially in, within you quite often see, even having head-to-head battles, teams are able to put up 400, 500-point leads, which essentially shouldn't normally happen in a head-to-head battle.
Yeah, but reaction speed, like even though time to eliminate in Guns of Boom is quite long, actually the skill does it matter a lot, and reaction speed matters a lot. We've seen many times, you can see it from the third person view, that one player sees the opponent, immediately goes into scope, and the opponent just lags a half a second. That's just all the difference.
Yeah.
Because he's already getting the headshots, already getting when you aim down and you are already shooting, it's a lot easier for you to strafe, and the strafing is very high-level skill here.
Exactly. So of course, whilst knowing how to make use of that weaponry you still also need to understand the movement in this game. And in a lot of games, movement is a very big part of the actual game and what really shows your skill. Because sometimes it's just insanely hard to hit an opponent, and that is a skill in itself for that person to be able to do that, to actually make himself a complete nuisance, essentially, in terms of getting rid of him.
We have a prediction in the chat.
All right.
Van Helsing says, Wolf will rule the ESL SIA Guns of Boom. Another prophecy.
Another favorite of mine in the chats. Thank you very much for that prophecy, but I think it's actually very real, especially now in that summer split. Spring might have been a warm-up for Indian Wolves, but summer, I think, is really where they shine. But back to this best of 5. So Old Factory Team Deathmatch, potentially the last map between Unkilled and Xavier's. And if Unkilled run away with a victory here, they get yet another third place landing.
Yes, this is going to be difficult. 2 wins for Unkilled already. And they are starting with the first strike. It's going to be very important as Xavier needs to change this whole thing around. They need a different rhythm. They need a different situation here. They cannot be giving the advantage here in the beginning of the map. They need to take something back.
Something back is required indeed, and King is looking to find that opportunity. He does manage to take down Gunrag. That's a first as he's moving forward here. Spots Lionheart. Lionheart doesn't have any armor, so he's gonna, a lot of these bullets is gonna hurt. King will fall back here, looking for backup, and rightly so as Wild Devil now approaches. Gunrag is gonna meet him just behind that corner there, and together with his teammate, they're gonna take him down. That G-Launcher connects from King as well, and it's a comeback from Xavier's as they're narrowing the point gap, almost overtaking the lead here, but Rakesh has a different story to tell. The White Devil, though, again, that shotgun is just too powerful for them. Tries to predict with the G-Launcher, doesn't really connect, and is forced to fall back here.
It seems like they are a bit desperate. Those G-Launchers didn't hit much, and they are going a lot. Unkilled are going to answer with that. A double elimination from King, and the points are actually in favor of Xavier. I think it's almost the first time. Oh, it's taken back almost immediately, but they have a chance. Rakesh is very, very beat down. Oh, he's going to stock up on armor with the Ram kit. And we are going to see what's going to happen next here. King is going to take down Gunrack. It's the second. It's the second time already. 167 to 167. Oh no, Unkilled is taking bet again.
Unkilled are just too fast. We don't even get to call it out right now as well. Sammy was for a brief moment last man standing as all 3 his teammates were eliminated by the Unkilled roster, and now I feel like that Unkilled are starting to feel more and more comfortable, but Sammy and King have definitely a different story to tell. White Devil brings out the big guns.
Again, draw 2 to... yeah, it's too fast, Xavier's are working really hard for us, guys, in the chat. I mean, they don't want it to end so fast. They want us to see more games, so chat, let's support Xavier's at least for this map. I think they deserve it here.
They have a very good opportunity right now. Only 40 points behind here, but Rakesh and Boxer put up few eliminations right now. Sammy is able to take down Rakesh. Gunrag finds elimination of his own. And on the left-hand side of the map, from the Xavier's perspective, you can see that the players are starting to group up. Sammy instantly goes for the flank from the right, finds Gunrag, and looking for the follow-up, but the Bleed Master from Rakesh, I feel like that shouldn't have even connected. There was a bigger distance between the two.
No, this is good. Those Xavier's are trying so hard, but they don't manage to catch up. And another 100-point difference. Another double elimination from Gunrag. This is repeating from before. Unkilled are going to go ahead. A double elimination from Rakesh. Maybe Xavier's are tilting. Maybe Unkilled are finding their confidence so much that they are just taking it. It's a 100-point difference, of course. Of course you can come back from that. But I don't know if Xavier's have have the willpower, if they have the spirit, can they do it? White Devil is definitely still fighting the good fight, but they are not taking enough points. He's going to pick up Boxer as he is cleaning up Unkilled, but they are more than 100 points behind, and there's only a minute and a half left.
A minute and a half. G-Launchers again around the board here. White Devil constantly staying close in the meantime. Rakesh, that's exactly why you don't do it in the open, because Sammy will take you out. Sammy, great job there, but Gunrag with his elimination streak brings Unkilled to a 1 point requirement in order for them to secure that third position. White Devil somehow stays alive as King finds another elimination, and will Rakesh go for that elim, and Gunrag is already celebrating.
1 point till victory, and a lot of dancing happening in the Unkilled camp. They're just going ham there, everyone. It's a party. But even a G-Launcher elimination, which is impossible as they have full armor, will not save Xavier here. They're not even pressing forward. This is what despair looks like. They know they basically have no chance, even though a miracle can happen. They just need to play it well. But no, of course, we see the same thing on the map this time around. Xavier, they fought for their pride, but still Gunrag and his ragtag team of rascals, they put them down in the ground.
Indeed. So Unkilled have showed us yet again the reason why exactly they are that third position, well, sort of dominators, if you can call them like that, or so, I don't know. Chat, think of a name for the Unkilled roster as to why they're in that third position for the better half of how far we've seen them until this moment in time. But congratulations again. Those are still valuable points obtained for them, for Xavier's as well. Bit more experience gain in terms of how they should play against these.
This is the best stream, says Cryptic. That's just like, praise. We love that. But
let's see, just because you're here,
let's see who is the best. This is the best stream, but who was the best player?
Who was the best player? Yeah, let us know. All right. Well, I think it's going to be quite clear that from the Unkilled roster, it is once again our all-beloved Gunrag Sig at the very top, 194 points, 10 eliminations, 4 assists, and 7 deaths.
I would love to see a Gunrag Singh video on YouTube with a breakdown on this victory. I think he has something to say, but Xavier's, it's going to be King, even though we've all seen White Devil taking all the risks and trying to bring back Xavier's in this last map. Still, he didn't make it to MVP. He lost those bets. The stakes were high, but he still tried anyway.
He tried his best, but King was just a bit better. So that is it for that third and fourth place battle, meaning we are approaching that legendary moment of the grand finals between Cyclone GG and Indian Wolves.
Again.
And
we don't know how it will go, because the first one went to Indian Wolves, the second one went to Cyclone GG. Cyclone GG, of course, all that experience from the offlane, all of that. There is so much happening here. But guys, what's the best thing before a good feast of Guns of Boom action extravaganza?
Let us know.
It's a break.
It's a break time.
A break.
So we're going to take a short break, and when we will be back, it's going to be grand final times between Cyclone GG and Indian Wolves. Who's going to be the better team? We're going to find out very soon. Back to the studio again. Stan is here, Beneficus, and we are ready for
That's
the
my
grand
line.
finals.
That's my line.
That's your line.
Stan
I
is
stole it
here.
off
That's
you.
mine.
I'm learning from the best.
Okay, man. Like, well, we are going into Cyclone GG versus Indian Wolves, but let's take a very quick overview of what happened this stream.
Just in case someone is joining in right now, a quick reminder how we got to this point in time. So the very first match today we saw was between Cyclone GG and Unkilled, where Cyclone GG showed their dominance and moved on to the grand finals, pushing down Unkilled yet again to that third, fourth place battle, where they did battle out with Xaviers, which unfortunately lost to Indian Wolves in that second match of day in a 2-0 fashion as well. So both Cyclone GG and Indian Wolves are looking very dominant.
This pattern seems very familiar. I think you've seen it before, haven't you?
I can't even count already how many times I've actually seen this happening.
How many, though?
How many? I would say it should be right around 8-9 times.
But do you think like it's going to go the same way this time around? I mean, like, who is going to win? I'm going for Cyclone GG. I'm going for it's the same.
You're going for the.
I'm going
for
for the same, man.
I think it is finally that Indian Wolves' shine of brilliance that they have the opportunity. I'm going to agree with those few fellows I have in the chat as well that Indian Wolves are going to grab this one and they're going to overtake the lead in the standings and they're going to continue with their dominance throughout the summer split.
I'm not so sure. I think like Cyclone GG are like stronger just basically because they have more experience and the way they went up against the teams of the world in Pro Series Brazil. I don't know if Indian Wolves has anything to offer against that.
I'm pretty sure Indian Wolves do have a trick up their sleeves, at least so far in all the engagements with Cyclone GG. They usually have held some sort of a surprise card, some sort of a surprise move happening from them. And as the pack works together, I think that's exactly the way how they're going to find their way to victory in that battle between Cyclone GG and themselves.
It's, of course, going to be very, very interesting. So what's our first map?
The first map, again, is going to be Military Warehouse between the two. And on Military Warehouse, historically, between these two, Cyclone GG have come out the better times.
Okay, but like Military Warehouse is like, it's the shooting skills galore.
Yes.
Like, but who's the best shooter? Like, let's go like basically teams in Guns of Boom Esports. If any of you are new here, like in Guns of Boom Esports, like you have teams that work with the movement, with the control points, and teams that have with the shooting skills. But who is the best at shooting skills? We'll find out right here as we are going into a TDM match.
TDM match between the two titans of Southeast Asia region on our screens happening. Who's going to grab that first map? Who's going to get that early advantage? Who's going to put the pressure on their opponents to follow up on the map that is going to be next? We'll find out right now as we are jumping into Military Warehouse Team Deathmatch Grand Finals time. And hope is back for the Indian Wolves roster again as he gets that first strike and even gets the Blade Master follow-up onto Exhorter, bringing those early 44 points in favor of Indian Wolves.
Very close, but Indian Wolves are ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Please get excited as this is the finals. This is for the prize and for all of the points. Heisenberg is going to take down Hope. Gunner is going to knife Ghost out of existence, and Revi is going to take down Gunner. Cyclone are retaking the lead as they are 20 points ahead, but no, Indian Wolves are going to take that back. Skilled with a double elimination, going to change it back to 119 to 94, and Exhorter is going to go straight into the center, into the trap of the Ghost. Ghost going to go down to Gunner, and it's 30 points between these teams. Everyone is going crazy with a double elimination from Gunner, with a Blade Master from Skilled.
Skilled, staying true to his name, gets the blade out at the right time, and Heisenberg is going to go down here as well. Didn't perhaps pay too much attention to the health bar that he had remaining. In the meantime, Blaze already looking to jump onto the action. Might be surprised from the right-hand side here. Gets the G-Launcher out and does connect onto Ghost. Gets that elimination. The Blade Masters are out. And who's going to come out on top? It is going to be Hope again, giving Indian Wolves the 30-point advantage at a 3-minute and 20-second mark.
It seems like Indian Wolves are dominating this map. At least they are going to keep that point lead, and they are going to go down a lot to Cyclone GG at the same second as Heisenberg with his team is taking 4 players from Indian Wolves, and they are sustaining the 11-point lead.
And look at the trap right now that they have set up. Skilled is unbeknownst to him. There are players close, but Hope can't be surprised as he gets a double elimination there in the process. Rally, there's a player behind you. He manages to get the elimination onto Heisenberg, and Ghost takes down Blaze in a complete turn of events. Indian Wolves have overtaken the lead again. Still 2.5 minutes remaining.
It's only the first map of the finals. We have a lot in store. Breaking it down a little bit, going a little slower with the sniping gameplay. Heisenberg is going to burn down Skilled as Exorder takes Hope with Avalanche. Cyclone GG are a little bit ahead. And a double elimination from Exorder with an elimination streak going from a G-Launcher and a knife from Ghost.
Ghost. Just a dominant force right now from the Indian Wolves side, and they're going neck in neck with the points. The G-Launcher misses onto Skilled. He stays alive as Ghost takes down Exorder. Heisenberg in a bit of a danger right now with that grenade on top. Somehow that doesn't connect, and the double elimination comes out from Blaze with the perfect aim on top. Exorder takes down Skilled as well, and Cyclone GG are looking to push this to victory.
Yes, of course. Exorder has pushed Cyclone GG into a bigger point lead. There is slow gameplay here. Nobody wants to take too big of a risk because they are so close to the end. Cyclone GG are 30 points ahead and there's only 80 points till victory. But you need to remember that Indian Wolves are also like a good quadra elimination away from victory. And Blaze is going to take down Skilled. Every point counts. Only 30 points, and it is going to close down a little bit. Blaze is winning. Blaze winning an incredible battle there, but Cyclone GG is only 9 points away from victory on their first map, and it's 67 points for Indian Wolves, so Cyclone GG can start dancing their dances, unless they are, of course, too serious for that. Nobody is going to push forward, as no one wants to give that last point. A G-Launcher from Skill is going to take Exorder, as Cyclone GG are looking for their last fight. A G-Launcher, another one, but they're going to take it down, as Cyclone GG takes the first map of the Grand Finals.
Cyclone GG balancing between victory and loss here, and Blaze in front as well between the white suits shows that Cyclone GG are up for grabs in terms of going for that first place position. They did manage to secure this first map, and I must say it didn't come easy to them. Indian Wolves were overtaking the lead continuously throughout that whole match. I think it was like roughly 3-4 times when Indian Wolves managed to overtake the lead, but unfortunately for them, I feel like in those moments, Blaze was right there at the right time to jump in, to overtake the lead and give his team the opportunity to come back into it.
I think a Cyclone were actually an actual Cyclone here because, you know, like they suck you in and sometimes you think you got out, but they take you right back in. But let's see that MVP with more details here. Who has more deaths? Who has more eliminations? Let's see.
Indian Wolves Ghost is going to be the man of the action as 141 points, 9 eliminations, 4 assists, and 8 deaths in his pocket. In the meantime, Blaze from Cyclone GG, as already mentioned before, 12 eliminations, 7 assists, and 174 points. So you can definitely say that Blaze was a very big contributor to the fact that Cyclone GG were able to come back into this and actually steal the win there at the very end from the roster of Indian Wolves, which is, of course, not the best news I was expecting in this first map, as I am still thinking that Indian Wolves can show us a different story on the second map, which is going to be Paradise Island.
I have to say, like, I thought maybe Indian Wolves would have taken it a couple of times, but Cyclone, they are too strong, man. Like, you know, Indian Wolves, they can throw in a couple of turnarounds, but when it comes to, like, constant pressing, I think Cyclone will beat Indian Wolves this time around.
You think that? Well, the saying goes, one would think that, but it's not necessarily what is going to happen, in my opinion, as in Paradise Island, Indian Wolves have definitely found their better success against Cyclone GG. I feel like you have a message.
Yeah, it
from
seems
chat.
like Chad is on my side, as Handa is saying, I already have my bets placed on Cyclone GG, so, and can't wait for Paradise Islands between these two intense SEA teams. somebody is going to, I think, make a lot of money. So guys,
somebody help me in chat. Like, what's going on with the Cyclone GG fannership? Where are all the wolves in the chat?
Howl, yeah.
Howl, indeed. Yes, howl, owl, or I don't know. Is there an emoji for wolves? I asked for this last time and it didn't manage even to check that.
There is.
Yes, spam that wolf if you are a fan of the Indian Wolves, as we are about to jump into Paradise Island. And I mean, it is going to be a lot of action on this map, as both of these teams are not shy of getting into close-up battles, as well as, of course, those infamous flanks that are happening on this map, because there's so many corners you can hide behind, let a few enemies pass, and then afterwards flank them from the backside.
Another prediction, Gunnar will rock from the chat. So we're going into Paradise Island. It's King of the Hill. And if the previous battle has taught us anything, is that these two teams are very, very closely matched. We don't know who is going to come out victorious, as King of the Hill requires both the movement, team play, and the shooting skills. But Heisenberg is going to take the first strike, as Ghost is going to take down Gunnar. Point A is going to Cyclone GG. They are starting strong. Again, there are two players from Cyclone GG on the point, and they are defending like crazy. Yes, Wolves are going with a great flank from Ravi, retaking the point. Nobody is there to stop him. He will make it in time, but he will definitely go down with that little health. But no, Ravi is so nimble, he actually manages to escape and go behind the flanking Heisenberg, and Blaze with no health at all. Actually, together with Ghost, Ravi is going to make them just drown in their attack.
Ravi just played that so good, staying alive for such a long time, passing the information about already about the flank happening, allowing Indian Wolves to prepare better for this. Still, Cyclone GG currently have the slight upper hand of roughly about, well, growing very quickly, that lead.
Getting cold.
As Heisenberg, Exorder, and Blaze put up eliminations on the board, meaning Cyclone GG are in the lead currently with 90 points. Skill did manage to get a double elimination in that situation there, as 3 minutes 40 seconds on the clock. Heisenberg with the G-Launcher doesn't really connect there, but Blaze returns the favor with a G-Launcher of his own. Will go down to Ghost, and Indian Wolves are looking to recapture that point, and it is absolutely crucial right now that they do get it, but Gunnar and Heisenberg might just be too much for Skill to handle, as he's going to go down, and that capture point is currently in control of nobody. It's up for grabs, and Cyclone GG with that lead are looking to solidify their position as the leaders, but as you can see, Indian Wolves and Ravi have different story to tell, and let's see if it actually pans out for them.
So these fights are as intense as they are chaotic. So many G-launchers in a row. Point A actually didn't belong to anyone for a second there. And again, nobody is going to let up. Nobody is going to give way, as Indian Wolves are slowly climbing back through the points with a double elimination from Ravi, with the G-launcher taking away a lot of health. They are 100 points behind, but they are fighting tooth and nail. But Gunnar is going to take double elimination and an elimination streak, completely decimating that point lead. Now they are 170 points ahead with the point in their hand. Cyclone GG went from an even situation to a completely dominating one.
They just turned it into second gear for themselves, and the combo breaker does come through for Hope, as he's jumping instantly onto the capture point to get those points again back into their favor. They need to stay alive here. Ravi ready, trying to provide firepower and cover power as well. With that, Hope is going to be taken down by Heisenberg here, and instantly he gets a double elimination as he's moving forward here. Blade Masters left, right, and center, and Skilled, even though does manage to get elimination, he's going to go down to Heisenberg here, who's still on that capture point. The grenade doesn't find any damage, and Heisenberg needs to be careful of the flank here from Ravi, but Exorder is going to help out with that situation. Surprise to himself, he somehow still runs away with an elimination in that situation.
Say his name, Heisenberg. Elimination streak and leaving for so long, taking all of those points. 20 points, 18 points, 16 points, still victory by Cyclone GG. Only 10, and they have the point. They need only one elimination, and it seems like nothing is going to stop them, as Cyclone GG are taking the second map in the best of 5 for the finals.
The Storm has spoken yet again for the second time in a row here on our screens. You can see that as well. 3 out of the 4 most valuable players are from the Cyclone GG roster, so I can't really deny stats and facts, and you just saw that Cyclone GG were definitely on a different level, and during that mid part of the match, you saw them, you could literally see on the screens that when they, as already said, they shifted into second gear and just pumped up the pace, made sure they hold on to that capture point.
I have to say, Ravi actually did an incredible job there, surviving for so long, flanking the flank.
Yes.
Flanking the flank. Heisenberg almost did the same thing, but let's see who of them two, what kind of stats we will see on the MVP screen. I'm right now very excited, as we should definitely see Heisenberg there.
Surprise to you and to everyone else, as it's actually Gunner from Cyclone GG, 246 points. 10 eliminations, 7 assists, and 8 deaths. So you could definitely say that Gunnar wasn't hiding behind any corners. He was all about the action, and it seems that it was exactly the same from Ghost, sitting at 10 deaths, 6 assists, 9 eliminations, and 214 points in his pocket, which simply was just not enough. And at certain times, it felt like that Indian Wolves are still going to run away with the victory here.
But let me give some love from the chat, as Heisenberg Hart, we see from Somia. All teams doing clean sweeps today. And also we see Gunrex Singh himself sending hearts and glasses and fires everywhere in the chat.
All right, well, the big question that we have right now is the next map, which is Old Factory, going to be the last map that we're going to see here today, or can finally Indian Wolves come up with some sort of a trump card out of their pockets and take us to map number 4?
I would love to see another one best of 5 with all 5 matches playing out. For that, they will need to pull a back-to-back here. Or Lazarus, actually, from the offline events where you go from a complete loss on the best of 5 to go and retake all of those maps. I really hope that can happen, even though I'm for Cyclone GG here. I do love a comeback story where I would love it to go 2-2 and then Cyclone GG crush them.
At the last second.
At the last second.
At the last second. That's exactly what everyone from a viewer's point of view as well as from a commenting point of view, that's definitely probably the most interesting story that we could hope for here. But again, so on Old Factory, it is another team deathmatch map. And as we already saw in that first one, Cyclone GG seemed to be slightly better today over Indian Wolves, whilst it hasn't been always the story.
Also, you know what? Did you notice there was something missing from these games that we've seen in the previous ones?
In terms of weaponry or?
Dancing.
Dancing, yes. There's no dances happening here.
Dancing.
It's too
serious. It's too serious. I feel
serious, yeah.
Both Cyclone GG and Indian Wolves are kind of above taunting because they are too busy sending G launches. But I think that's a psychological weapon that you shouldn't really underestimate.
Well, in map number 3, if Cyclone GG do get a lead, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a bit of a dancing happening from them.
Some money throwing.
You're going to see those hands going in the air, as well as cash, of course, around the board for everyone up for grabs, because Cyclone GG, they're just, ready to run away with that cash in their pocket. So
the third map, though. I mean, what would Indian Wolves have to do here? Because they are winning group fights. What they're not doing is they never solidify their advantage.
Yeah, they don't. I think the problem what they have currently is that they slightly overextend whenever they have a lead. So when you are overextending with half a health remaining, it's obviously not clearly a good idea. You should fall back, get your health back, group together with your team, and then trade out with the help of your teammates, right? Because they still have armor.
They are attack, and let's see how they attack on this next map, as we're going to go to potentially the final map of the grand finals of today's Cup. It's Old Factory Team Deathmatch. It's all skill. It's all shooting. It's all clear victory. No points getting out of hand. But right now they are leaving the battle, so we're going to restart. And we see an incredible dance from Exhorter, just like we promised you. At the end of this match,
he seems pumped. He seems pumped to jump in and ready to start. And it seems that Cyclone GG are in good spirits. I mean, who wouldn't be in a best of 5 when you have already 2 maps up against your opponent, really pushing your opponent into that mental battle that you have within your team. And obviously as well, any sort of mistake you do make in that sort of situation where you are on the losing side even puts more pressure on your shoulders, because you're slightly punishing yourself at that point.
Okay, I've seen I've just seen Lionheart, who says, "I've put on a great dance show. I deserve a shout out."
Lionheart, indeed, I cannot disagree with you. I shout out to Lionheart for those great dance moves and for your team as well. I mean, In general, I just love whenever you see good spirits coming out from teams. You know, it lifts the whole situation a bit out of that seriousness.
Can you like say, I think like for Pro Series Germany, basically the team that wins today's finals,
Yes.
you're going to be like in a position, because they are 175 points in the standings right now. They are going to be a favorite for the Pro Series Germany. So the team that takes second place will have to at least take the first place 2 times more.
Yeah.
If they want to go to
So,
Pro Series Germany.
meaning that what potentially is the opportunity for Indian Wolves, it's very important for them to at least obtain, as you already said, a few more first places to actually battle out for that opportunity of going to Germany. I think for them as well, it is not an unachievable goal. I think it's very doable. It's a matter of just paying more attention to those crucial points within that match and recognizing the opportunities.
How many cups, by the way, do we have left in the challengers right now?
In the summer split.
In the summer split, yeah.
Isn't it 5?
It
should be
five more. Yeah, it should be 5 more.
So
I mean, like, is it possible for Unkilled to even qualify at this point?
Well, they need at least 2 victories.
So they are like 120 points somewhere around there, yeah?
No, they're currently sitting at 80. So
at 80,
yeah.
Unkilled had 100.
Oh, 100. Excuse me. No, that's
today's,
my bad. It's the heat. It's the heat getting to my numbers. So.
It's 100 plus today's points, so they're going to have, like, I think it's for third place it's 20 or what? Am I correct?
It's 50.
50 for the third place.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be 150. No, they are still in the race then.
They are still in the race.
Way
They're not
behind, though. It's really hard.
Well, they first of all, they need either Cyclone GG or Indian Wolves to fail miserably in 1 week. That would definitely help them out. Second of all, of course, during that week, that would give them better opportunities of actually getting into
I'm
grand
just
final.
thinking that, you know, like, it seems like actually at this point, like, realistically, either Cyclone GG or Indian Wolves will go to Pro Series Germany. I mean, like, it would be crazy. They will need to, like, drop out of the tournament not to get enough points. So actually in the Southeast Asian region, it's Indian Wolves versus Cyclone GG. It's not only this grand final, it's actually for the whole Pro Series Germany, and this grand final will probably be the breaking point, as it is 1-1. There are 5 more cups, so there is more time, but I feel like with the tilting that Indian Wolves are showing sometimes, it feels to me like Cyclone GG, if they win here, they will probably steamroll them the next cups too.
Most likely. And that is, like, logically speaking, that would be the more predictable scenario, but I always take into account surprise factors. Like, you don't know, perhaps there's going to be a match where they're going to be forced to play as 3. Someone might be missing from the roster. You could run in, theoretically, some issues along the way, as well as a lot of it actually has gone down how the group stage plays out. It seems that some of these teams, whilst, as for example, Unkilled, they just continuously run into Cyclone GG in the semis, like all the time. And all the time, they cannot overcome that step. And I think it would be more realistic for them, and they have met Indian Wolves in the past in the semis, where Unkilled actually, if you look back into that, I won't be able to give you the exact week when it happened. I think it was towards the end of the spring split when Unkilled were in the grand finals because they met Indian Wolves and they had the opportunity. They actually took the opportunity and overcome them.
Have Cyclone GG and Indian Wolves ever met, like, before the grand finals?
In the semis? I can't really recall a situation like that.
Doesn't seem like it.
I don't think so, yeah. Look, so from the time that we've streamed this region, I cannot recall a single situation where they have.
It would be interesting, though, you know, like, if we had, like, that could be a turnaround. It feels like right now...
Well, it would be a complete wild card in terms of the standings and points.
I mean, like, it's interesting to me. First of all, it would be very disadvantageous to the team that would lose that semifinal.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting to me. Like, I think, like, people get stuck in a pattern. And, like, the teams in the SEA, they are losing in the same manner.
Yes.
They are getting the same grand final. And I feel like it's getting harder and harder to break the circle with Indian Wolves going against Cyclone GG in the grand final, Cyclone GG steamrolling, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rerun of everything that has been happening up until this point. But as well, that's exactly why I continuously talk about this. Team need to look into their replays. They need to do the required deductions from their gameplay and actually learn how they can overcome that narrow gap that they have.
But let's see how it's going to pan out with the map. coming up next, it is potentially.
Potentially the last map on our screens, as Old Factory is going to be starting here between Cyclone GG and Indian Wolves. Cyclone GG have 2-map upper hand over Indian Wolves, and it needs to be a crazy comeback story if it is going to be one. But the first strike's already on our screens here as Exhorter does manage to get it, but there is a huge trade happening and Cyclone GG get wiped out. Indian Wolves are currently in the lead with 33 points over Cyclone GG, and they need to stick to it. That grenade might find damage, but Blaze moves forward, does manage to get Ghost, and with the flank from other side from Heisenberg, together they decimate Indian Wolves, and the triple elimination comes through.
A triple elimination from Blaze, that was gigantic, but Indian Wolves are going to take back the lead, but it seems they are on a rocky foundation here, as Exhorter is trying to find a new prey. It's 4 points between them, but Indian Wolves are going to widen the gap with 2 eliminations lined up right next to each other. Blaze is going to cut down some here, but Hope with an elimination streak takes it to a 30-point lead. It seems like Indian Wolves might just be taking the rhythm and the snowballing of this map.
Skill needs to be careful here, together with a close-range engagement. One more bullet will do it, and he does manage to get Exhorter, but Heisenberg instantly with the Blade Master will trade back, even gets a follow-up onto Ravi. Ready there, Gunner slightly lost on the map, ran into the spawn of Indian Wolves, and Skill showed you can't do that, and they're looking to establish even a bigger point lead right now as Ravi Ready finds Exhorter, and Heisenberg in a bit of a tricky position right now, could potentially find a huge flank as well. The G-Launcher from Blaze doesn't connect, and he at the last second spots Ghost, who misses that Blade Master, and Blaze does punish him here.
Whoa.
Gunner as well is going to be moving forward here, as well as Heisenberg, and he will find elimination, but still Indian Wolves are in the lead with 32 points.
It seems like Indian Wolves just took a deep breath and they decided we're not going to go down like this. So they are still trading the 30-point lead. They are holding on to it and even widening it with a series of eliminations coming from the whole team. Here they have a 50-point lead. Cyclone GG with Blaze are actually shortening that gap, but they're not doing anything too crazy here. They need a big G-Launcher or they need a big elimination streak, but that is exactly what is happening for actually Indian Wolves with Hope. A double elimination with a G-Launcher, and they are 100 points ahead. They're in a premium position, in an incredible situation where they can take it back and start their comeback that we so want to see, as we want to see full 5 maps for the grand finals. A double elimination from Hope again. Now they're 130 points ahead. What are they doing? Cyclone GG doesn't even know where to move out. They are all concentrated in the center, and they're trading evenly.
It's starting to slip from the hands of Cyclone GG. Gunner and Exhorter trying to desperately bring it back. Blaze joins in on the battle as well, as they find 3 eliminations onto Indian Wolves, and this is the exact point in time when Ravi Reddy, together with his team, need to realize that they don't need to overstep their boundaries. They already have 444 points here. Need to be watching out for the flank from Exhorter. The G-Launcher almost connects, but Gunner does take down Hope there. Blaze finds another Blade Master, and even the follow-up, a double Blade Master coming out from Blaze, showing what they're really all about, but it might be too late for Cyclone GG here. As 12 more points, the Blade Master does it, and Indian Wolves secure the victory in Old Factory, meaning Europe Square, the 4th map, is up for grabs still.
Hope is coming back to Indian Wolves as he is the MVP. And we see that Indian Wolves are not going to let it go down this easily. They're not going
to be that simple
to lose.
For
just
sure.
with a 3-0, it was a clean sweep extravaganza. It was like a cascade of clean sweeps.
Yes.
And they're finally putting a stop to that, because we want to see more maps, please, very much.
More maps, please. And now heading into that 4th map, which is going to be Europe Square. Those are capture points. Now, as far as I've seen, whilst Indian Wolves are pretty good in team deathmatch modes, capture maps are a bit of an issue for them, so I am slightly afraid that Cyclone GG might still lock it out very quickly here. Of course, hoping that that is not going to happen, as I would like to see the Wild West Saloon team deathmatch that 5th map. But before that, though,
some shade is being thrown. Campers, people say. Someone is salty.
Excuse me, that's strategy. All
yeah,
right?
but let's see the strongest players right now.
All right, strongest players from either side. So from Cyclone GG, it is your very own Blaze with 145 points, 10 eliminations, 5 assists, and 9 deaths. And on the other hand, as you already said, Hope is back indeed for Indian Wolves as he racked up 201 points, 10 eliminations, 3 assists, and only 5 deaths in a team deathmatch.
I have something I want to show you. I think you will like it very much. Do you see these emojis?
Yes,
Like,
it's the wolves. We have wolves in the chat.
It's the wolves and fire. It's
Yes.
the wolves and fire, guys.
It's a mixed bag of wolves and Blaze.
Hope is just too good a sniper. Love his skills.
I can't disagree with that. Hope does seem to nail those shots instantly as the opponent shows.
This is just a beginning. This is not an end game from Junior Marco. Really, really nice words, and that's a prediction I can stand behind. I want this to go to 2-2. I want this to go to the final match. I want this to go to the best possible Grand Finals best of 5 can offer.
Well, I think Indian Wolves are going to do exactly that. Even though Europe Square might be their potential downfall in terms of that Cyclone GG do seem to be slightly better organized, you can never really be too sure, especially with Hope now waking up in a big way.
This can again be a match point, and we're going again into a map that might be the final one. We sure hope it is not going to be, but we are going there right about now.
Let's see how this plays out on Europe Square control points. A bit of a tricky map if you ask me, because a lot of the rotations required to get those points back does mean that you're crossing dangerous territory pathways that you might not be unaware that opponents are hiding behind it. The first action is going to be around that B capture point as Ravi Reddy makes that first strike. Hope gets the follow back, and Gunner only with one from the Cyclone GG roster who's been able to put up points so far.
Oh my god, it's actually 2 points. 2 points for Indian Wolves and a G-Launcher missing. But they already have those 2 points, so Heisenberg taking down Hope actually doesn't matter that much. They are very close, but Hope are going to get those sweet points coming in from the double capture. Now, if they just can continue capturing points and keep that lead, they can actually win here. But the double cap is coming in for Cyclone GG as Hope are unable to hold 2 points, and now the same will apply unless Wolves will take back 1 point. At least they are going to be taken down by the snowballing effect, but Hope is going to take both Heisenberg and Blaze out, taking out the, well, arguably the strongest shooters on the Cyclone GG side. They have a perfect prime opportunity to take back all the points. Exhorter with almost no health is going to sacrifice himself against Ghost, and Skilled is going to take Gunner. It seems like Indian Wolves are very much set on turning this around.
They instantly jump onto that B capture point to go for the triple cap to get those points in their advantage. In the meantime, though, Gunner does put up a double elimination, and the C capture point already is going to be contested here. Blaze takes down Ravi Reddy. Heisenberg will find Hope as well, and you can see that all the capture points are going to be taken now by Cyclone GG as A and C is already in their control, but yet again, Ghost is just instantly there to turn the tides back. B capture point is going to be taken by Cyclone GG. A is in control of theirs as well, and currently only C is the lifeline of Indian Wolves.
Ghost almost lost the C point just because he was too impatient. The double elimination from Exhorter. Skilled is coming in there. Can he win this duel against Blaze? He actually can. A double elimination, and now also Heisenberg, but that would be just impossible. Somehow Cyclone GG are holding on to 2 points. This seemed like it was going the way of Indian Wolves all the way, but now it seems like they are just running around alone, overextending. It seems they are starting to tilt, but Skilled and Ravi and Ghost are going to take 3 players from Cyclone GG are going to go for a double cap. Maybe they can turn something around here. They need to hold at least one wave of defense if they want to win, but Heisenberg is going to take down Ghost now. Overextending maybe again, but no, Ravi winning this duel with left health. Hope winning another duel against Gunner, and it seems like maybe, just maybe, Indian Wolves will turn this around as Ravi is approaching Exhorter to fight for B. No, there's Gunner to push. Another Ghost is sandwiched too, so it's 2-on-1 in 2 different places, and that seems like it's really, really bad for Indian Wolves.
Indian Wolves are struggling right now, and the points are ticking extremely fast in favor of Cyclone GG as they are in control of B and C capture points. Currently, the lifeline, the A capture point for Indian Wolves is pretty much all they have. They need a clean sweep onto Cyclone GG so they can grab control of these points and then afterwards try to control the Cyclone GG roster, but it might be just too much for them as Blaze and Exhorter find eliminations. Again, Ravi Reddy trying to do something, does get the double elimination here. Heisenberg comes in right behind him, does manage to get the elimination. The double cap already is in for Cyclone GG. The elimination streak is there, and Cyclone GG are going to be your winners, securing the victory here in the grand finals in a 3-1 fashion.
It's the victory, and for MVP, it's three players from Cyclone GG, and even though they've been losing the whole first half, they actually managed to turn this around, and unfortunately, they didn't go to the best final we could have hoped for, but Cyclone GG may be showing that they are getting ready for that Pro Series Germany, maybe now being stronger, maybe like putting down their opponent. For the second time in the Summer Cups, they will be able to win the Pro Series Germany.
Yeah, so they are battling for another huge offline event opportunity, and that is exactly how you can see there is a bit of a preview still happening as to what potentially Germany might show here. And if Cyclone GG do manage to go there, they have a huge amount of experience in their pocket coming in from that Brazil event. Here, having so many battles every single week with everyone pretty much from the Southeast region, proving yet again this week that they are the better team, though, even though Indian Wolves have their moments of brilliance.
Yes, chat is exploding. Cyclone GG for sure. Hearts and love. Cyclone GG rocks. Wolves have tails between their legs.
Well,
a lot of cyclone emojis. It's incredible. A lot of fans are just exploding with happiness. I suppose the Wolf fans are just going to go and lick their wounds right now.
Yeah, well, you know, the Wolves always do return stronger whenever they fall back, as Wolves in general are a very smart pack animal. They always come up with interesting strategies, so I think that Indian Wolves are not running out of the woods just yet. They're sticking by to make sure that they can still hold tabs onto Cyclone GG. Let's have a look at the MVPs, though, from this last map and see who really stood out.
There's a really big difference here this time around, as we remember from the MVP screen. Heisenberg has 285 points, while from Indian Wolves, it's Hope. Hope was lost. Hope didn't, it wasn't enough. They opened the Pandora's box. Hope flew out, but it didn't help enough. And 146 points of score here is just, it looks kind of weak compared to what Heisenberg managed to pull out at the end there. And I feel like, as we can see, Cyclone are not stronger at shooting per se. It feels like they're stronger mentally.
I think stronger mentally would be 1 point, and because a lot of their victories come off the back of capture point maps, control point maps, excuse me, I think it really shows that all the players individually on the side of Cyclone GG do have a better feel for the rotations, when they need to happen, what's the best timing for it, when is the best moment to engage based off the information that they get from their teammates about what's the situation.
They seem more collected.
Just overall, they seem a bit more collected. So for this week, this does mean that Cyclone GG do secure that first position. So let's have a quick look back at the brackets, just a quick overall what exactly happened today, how it all went down, how did we get to this point in time. And it all started with the Cyclone GG match up against Unkilled, where they secured the victory in a 2-0 fashion, securing their position in the grand finals. And in that second pair, we did have Indian Wolves battling it out between Xaviers, and Xaviers might not have that much experience.
And another clean sweep right after that. It was Unkilled versus Xaviers, and Unkilled completely stomped them out. And it was so fortunate that actually, even though Indian Wolves didn't manage to bring us the best grand final, they managed to save us from a horrible fate of full clean sweeping throughout the whole bracket.
Yeah, the full brackets would have been a complete sweep, but Indian Wolves showing again that on Old Factory, that is still their turf, and that is still something they can hold onto, and the grand finals did finish off in a 3-1 fashion. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to that fifth map.
Yeah, it really feels like Cyclone GG are unopposed right now. They are just not that much above Indian Wolves in the standings. They are both very much above Unkilled, as we're going to see right now. but they still have everything to play for with 5 cups left. Indian Wolves can win. They can come back. They're only 25 points behind. As you see, Unkilled is 100 points behind, so far away.
Yeah, it seems like it's miles away right now for Unkilled, sitting in that 3rd position. Xavier's as well have so far done, in my opinion, a pretty good job coming in as a roster that we didn't really get to see during that spring split, and now sitting comfortably in that 4th position. Well, in the sense that they've actually gone to that point. Obviously, they as well would like to get more points, get higher in the standings. And the 5th position currently has moved up by Dracaris.
Dracaris. What are you saying?
Dracaris.
I mean, like, it's interesting that the difference between the 2nd and 3rd place here is bigger than the difference between the 3rd and the 5th. It's so much far away.
It's so much far away, meaning that Unkilled already at this point can pretty much only hope that Indian Wolves and Cyclone GG meet in the semis, as we spoke before, giving them the opportunity of jumping into grand finals and getting more points so they can narrow that point gap.
It would be very lucky for them.
It will be super lucky for them if they can get a scenario like that, but I still think that it is, as we already spoke before as well, in the Southeast region, it's pretty much all about Indian Wolves and Cyclone GG.
It seems so, but you know, like, I mean, like with the other teams, somebody might climb back up. Somebody might find a way there on this top 5. Maybe not already for the offline events. They will not be able to get all of the points needed, but they might get into the top 3.
Yeah.
Might solidify themselves for like next events, for next cups, for everything else.
Well, speaking about things that are coming up, there are still other hour streams that you need to definitely jump into to make sure to have a better understanding of exactly how things are going to go down in Germany between the best players from all regions. So make sure you jump into the other streams that we have.
Say hi to the casters. I think it's Lethal and Falcone actually going to be casting today. So
all right, well,
yeah.
Hey, good luck to you guys. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to overtake after ourselves, but I must say Southeast Asia region was looking very much alive here today, and so much interesting action happening, and I mean, it's an interesting region.
It's interesting. I really want to get into the chat a little bit here, just because like they are so good here. I love you, Guns of Boom from Talcan.
Talcan, thank you.
A lot of fires, Blaze, Gunner, Exoberg, just a lot of love for Cyclone GG, a lot of hearts, a lot of just celebration. Well played from Gunrek Singh. Enjoyed the commentary, guys. Really happy to be here. Really happy to have a chance to like get really deep into the Southeast Asian region, as I have been shoutcasting over Cyclone GG. I hope to see maybe Indian Wolves come up there at some point, and I would love to see Cyclone GG advance to the finals and really, you know, like really fight it out with, I don't know, maybe Impact Gaming or whoever is going to be there at that time.
Right, you already had the opportunity of meeting them once. You never know if that second time might come very soon. So in general, it was another action-packed week for us here. So that is going to be week number 3 concluded. Make sure that you jump back to this same stream next week when week number 4 and another 100 points is going to be up for grabs. And well, Stanis,
thank you.
You're going to have to leave.
I'm sorry, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, indeed.
It was
Good
really
job,
great,
bro.
man.
And we're going to have Danny back next week. But Stanis, I would really love to see you here one more time.
I'll come sometime.
Yeah.
I'll come sometime.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Grab a beverage. Enjoy your weekend. And we'll be back next week.